Well, hello there, you handsome and beautiful individuals. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. It is Monday. I'm wearing a green shirt because it is St. Patrick's Day, which is why it's dark green, which is why if you're watching in the live video right now, I am slightly transparent. But can't be getting pinched. Can't be getting pinched, even though there's no one around me but a dog. Can't be getting pinched. So we're rocking and we're rolling with it, and it's not too bad. You can just kind of see what used to be behind me in this room. So, hey, whatever. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Thank you so much for tuning in to an episode of the Webb Show. If you're here live, I actually have a poll that's going on right now above the Twitch chat. I would love for you guys to vote in it. We're going to be talking a little bit about what that is. I may run that poll twice, but it has to do with the timing of the live show of the Webb Show. Because if you're listening to this back on Spotify or wherever you enjoy your podcasts, well then, you're listening to a pre-recorded version, so it doesn't really affect you so much. However, I'm still interested in what you guys have to say, so please drop some comments for me and let me know. I actually have every intention to go through and see if we have any comments currently on the Webb Show, because I recently learned, because of my other podcast, that the spot I go to check my comments is actually the spot where it holds comments for review, and so... yeah, I hadn't been checking the right spot. Now, we only have one, so I have read that one. I just looked at it right then. But still, I'm going to start reading those comments probably here on the channel if possible, as well as chat from the live stream. So if you are here live and you would be willing to answer that poll, I would appreciate it. If you're listening back later, this is what it says. What is the best time for you to watch the Webb Show? Right now, which is Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern, or Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, or Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern. You guys can let me know that in the comments of the pre-recorded, or not pre-recorded, I guess it's post-recorded, whatever, of the recording. If you guys listen to audio and you would like to catch a live episode of the Webb Show, maybe one of those times works better for you. I guess we'll just dive into why I'm wondering and asking that. It's because I have noticed, so a while back, I changed my stream schedule around a good bit, and one of the main reasons that I did that is because my sister-in-law was a senior in high school. She still is. She's about to graduate. Congratulations to her. She just turned 18 this week, so but also I'm so grateful that she's still aging and growing, because life is just a bit sweeter with her here. So for all those reasons, I guess I can handle it. But she was pretty active in band. She was first chair. She's a saxophone player. And I wanted to go see her march and go to competitions. And I also put a poll out and on the Discord and within the community. And it seemed that everyone was on board a little bit with me bumping the stream time up across the board. So I did that on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We went from starting at 7 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern. We just moved everything back an hour. And then on Fridays, we actually bumped it up quite a bit. We went from streaming at 7 p.m. Eastern to streaming at 3 p.m. Eastern. That was fine until January rolled around. And I know January is a slim month. Any content creators know things just get a little thinner around January. And so I was like, well, maybe it's just because it's January. Then February rolled around, and now we're halfway through March. And what I've discovered is that time on Fridays does two things. It hurts viewership. I think less people are able to tune in because it's still kind of technically during the workday. And then two, it seems to also, probably because of similar reasons, workday and school, maybe it'd be fine during summer, it seems to prohibit people from being able to play community games together, community games with me. So at the very least, another day may be better for community games. And so what the poll is asking is really just this idea of to help me decide where the best time slot goes. And this is what I have in mind. If Monday ends up being the best time, I'm going to omit Friday streams entirely. And on Monday, we'll do the Webb Show. And we will do either before or after the Webb Show. Probably do the Webb Show first, and then we will jump into some gaming and just chill and hang out with each other. And it'll be like a great time. I might do that more like I do on Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, when I am a part of Tangle Christianity, I do a pre-show, and we play some games and hang out, and then we do the podcast. That actually might be a better system for the Webb Show. Maybe we do a pre-show for the Webb Show. I'm not really sure on that. I'm totally down to hear what you guys think. I'd be very interested in your opinions. The other option is that if Friday wins, bearing in mind that I need to check these plans with my wife. But if Friday wins, depending on what time it is, say that it takes the shorter time. I mean the later time. On the later time, well then the Webb Show will actually move to Fridays, or at least the live episode of the Webb Show. That would also put some space in between Tangled Christianity and the Webb Show, which I could see being pretty beneficial. And then on top of that, we would also continue to stream and play games like we've been doing, and it's been pretty cool. I've actually been playing the Gamer Club games on Fridays right now, but I'm open to doing some scheduling things. I also want to know thoughts because I have been attempting to play more single player, like experimental type games on stream, and I'm starting to feel that is a bad idea because I recognize that it's just harder for us to kind of game together as a community that way. And so I get it. That makes things a little bit difficult. So I am parsing that through, and I'm hopefully by April I'll have a little more space in my head to put some more time into that. Because if you guys don't know, if you've missed an episode, or if you haven't watched the live stream lately, March is very busy because I have been summoned for jury duty. On top of the fact that I still have to finish my taxes. If you live in the U.S., you get my struggle. You understand. And that is on top of like IRL work and streaming and content and everything like that. So I really could do a better job of balancing that out. So anyway, in summary, do you care what day the Webb Show is live? And would you be more interested in hanging out before as a pre-show or after the Webb Show? One of those two things is going to happen because I need to carve, especially for YouTube. YouTube, you guys are pretty much just getting podcast episodes right now. I need to carve some time out of my days because right now I have a live stream or a small group every single day. I need to carve out, and then on weekends I either work or I don't, and I have like family things on the day of the weekend that I don't work. But almost every day I work, so I've got to carve out some time to also work, but to be able to like just chill or play games or make proper YouTube videos or do other things. You know what I mean? I've got to carve into that. And so this seems like a way to do that will I think benefit us all in the long run because we'll be live for longer, so that'd be great. And then it also will carve out some time for me to hopefully make some different content, some better content, some scheduling, some something. So yeah. That's all I got to say about that right there. I'm also very excited. Do we have any readers here? I know this is a gaming podcast, but I also describe it as a slice of life podcast. I don't know if we have any readers here, but I'm going to get this book today. This is Sunrise on the Reaping. At the time of recording, which is Monday, it is the day before this book comes out, and I'm very excited because I'm about to get to do something that I've never had the opportunity to do before in my life. And that is go to a midnight release for a book. I've done this for games. I've done this for movies. Sort of, kind of. Movies where I'm at tend to, I don't know if this is a COVID thing or why, but they tend to actually get released in my theater at a normal evening time the day before the movie actually releases. So let's say a movie comes out on a Friday the 15th. I made that date up. Well, then we would get access to that movie starting at 7 p.m., on Thursday, the 14th. And then there's usually like 4 or 5, depending on how big the movie is, there's like 4 or 5 showings. And then, of course, the next day will be absolutely full because that's the day that it actually comes out. This is especially true for like Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Or maybe kind of sort of DC movies. Maybe kind of like Oppenheimer and Barbie. They were big, but there's plenty of movies I'm sure that don't get this type of love. But those give those type of love. But I've never been able to do it for a book. Where I grew up, there really wasn't bookstores around. The closest thing to a bookstore I had was Walmart. Friends, that ain't a bookstore. I mean, it has books, but you know what I'm saying. And then it was an hour and 10-minute drive on the interstate to get to a Books A Million. I never went to Books A Million. I only ever had been there when I went with friends. I had 2 other friends that were avid readers, and usually for their birthday, they would want to go see a movie that's based on a book. And we would end up getting dinner or lunch. We'd watch a movie, and then we'd typically get hit up like Books A Million on the way home. And it was fantastic. But I wasn't really a reader. I like to read, but I wasn't around access to good books. I was around my school library. that just didn't hit the same. You young whippersnappers today don't know how nice you have it with the internet and your access to books. All that to say, my wife's only ever been to one, and the entire time in the city I live now, there's a Books A Million, and there's a couple locally owned bookstores, which are pretty cool. And in that time that I've been here, I've been living here for, oh my word, right at 10 years. In 10 years of living in this city, I have known of one book signing, and I didn't go to it because I wasn't familiar with the author or the book, and now the very first ever midnight release of a book that I'm going to get to go to. And I'm so excited about it because it's also a series that I've completely read. I really enjoyed The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I thought it was very good. Sunrise on the Reaping is also a prequel to The Hunger Games. If you're not familiar with it, it follows the game that Haymitch was a part of. Haymitch was the mentor from District 11. This is his story. This is his game, and I'm so ready to read it. In the live chat, we got Junie Perwood. I love you, Junie. I'm so glad that you're here. Webby is living large. I feel it because I'm excited to go get a book, you know? This is just a different kind of thing for me, and I'm super excited. Wait, what is this? There's more editions. There's a Pan Am edition. What is this? Sunrise on the Reaping International editions. I see. It's just different depending on where you get it. This hardback looks great. We also got fantastic deals. So myself, my wife, and my sister-in-law are all going to get our copy of the book tonight. And I'm actually getting it because my wife and I don't need 2 paper copies of this. So I actually used an Audible credit because I've gotten too many Audible credits acquired, and I need to kind of get rid of some of those. And so I actually ordered this book pre-ordered on Audible, and that will be available hopefully at midnight tonight. My wife and I will have a copy that we'll get in person tonight, and the event is so cool. I talked to the coordinator at the bookstore that's doing it, and she has like a blind date with the district type game set up. You'll get there's these quizzes to get placed into what district you'd come from. There's going to be snacks. There's going to be fun. There's going to be games. It's going to be a really good time. I'm very excited about it because I've never been able to do this. I've done this for games, but like in the gaming world, the one game store that did stuff like this, that had games and trivia and all the fun stuff, it closed technically, I guess 2024. It closed within a couple months ago. So I feel like those things are gone. And so I'm very excited about this. But yeah, so I'm going to start listening to the audiobook tomorrow on my drive because I have a long drive tomorrow. My headphones messed up, so I'm literally going to take these Bose with me and wear those while I drive. And I'm in the market for some new noise-canceling headphones. Make recommendations to me if you have any. I had been rocking Sony LinkBuds S's, and they are they're fine. I've gone through 2 sets. I liked them a lot. Before that, I liked AirPods, but I switched to Android, and it's just for the price, you don't get as many features out of AirPods if you're using them on Android, so I don't know that it's really all that worth it. All that to say, I'll start then, get through this, and then she'll have the paper book because there's not going to be any tearing it out of her hands. And then my sister-in-law is also getting it. But we got vouchers. My wife has a membership at the bookstore. We got vouchers early to reserve our book, and the voucher with my wife's membership got us these books for $17. This is a $30 book. We got 2 copies. We got one, and then my sister-in-law got one. $17, friends. That is a steal for literally a brand new, highly anticipated book. So I'm very, very excited. Yay! Let me know how it is when you finish it. I sure will, Junie. I love that book. Love book people. I just am excited because I've never been able to do this. I've never been able to go to a midnight release of a book. Junie, have you ever? Junie's here in the chat. Have you ever been able to go to like a midnight release for a book? Because this is like, it took me 30 years, friends. It's taken me 30 years to get to this point. I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be a really good time, and I'm just ecstatic and thrilled. So I think it's going to be good. Not a sponsor, but if you haven't read the Hunger Games trilogy, even if you've read the movie, even if you've watched the movies I think are one of the best adaptations to a book that I've ever seen out of everything that I've ever read that has an adaptation. My recommendation would be to read the books anyway because they're very good. They are themed a bit. They're still appropriate for teens, but they're themed a bit darker than the movies portray. In the movies, you're a little dark, but like the books are a bit darker. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was surprisingly very good. It is about President Snow before he was president, like when he was a kid. And I was very impressed by Suzanne Collins' ability to humanize this person that is very easy to hate in the first three books. And so yeah, I've seen also the way that she has. I mean, she was a pretty good author already, I thought, but I see how she is even matured as an author, and so it just has me very excited for Sunrise on the Reaping. I'm very, very excited. No, never. It will not take me 30 years. I hope. Are you going to get this book, Junie? Midnight release tonight. It technically is out March 18th, but I've just never known of a bookstore to stay open to do the midnight release, and that's what has me so excited. And what makes me even more excited, guys, is we'll have all of the books at this point. We're a little, my wife and I are kind of book snobs when it comes to art. We'll have all four of the books in hardback. I believe we're getting this one in hardback. Maybe that's worth checking into. In this original art style. So it's going to be really cool to keep them in this art style because there's been a trend in the book space lately with like I don't know, what is it called? I don't know if it's stamped or inked or what, but the this part of a book. Hold on, I have a book in my hand. So you have the front, the back, and the spine. I just unplugged my headphones, so apologies if anyone does any kind of notification. I will not hear it. I haven't read the fourth one, so I'm behind. Technically, you don't have to read the fourth one for this, Junie, because it's a prequel, and it comes before Sunrise on the Reaping. So in theory, you don't have to read it for this book, but I would recommend it. I am surprised to say this, but I think The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is my favorite out of the four so far. I'm expecting to really like Sunrise on the Reaping though. Oh, I wouldn't have thought it because it's about Snow, and I mean obviously Snow is a bad person and he ends up being the president and of a country that continues the Hunger Games. So like you kind of already know the direction it's going to go. However, it's very good. Even the movie, I think the movie did a pretty good job, but it's very good. This part of a book where you can see the edges of the pages, that being printed or stamped. What is that called? I don't know. What I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna Google it right now. What? Yeah, I'm literally asking a question to Google, but I'm 30 and a millennial, so this is what we do. What is printing? It is called, that is it. No, that's not what it is. Does anybody know what this is called? Edge-to-edge printing. That's not what I'm talking about. That's when you print all the way in there. You don't have margins. That's when you print all the way. Sprayed is what it's called. And this, okay, it's called Sprayed Edges, and it's funny because the example that's used is actually the Hunger Games book series that I was just about to tell you guys about. The way that this is getting popular, this sprayed book edge, but they completely changed the artwork. Now, don't get me wrong, this is beautiful. Like these sprayed edges are really cool, but I want something different. Oh, they did it for the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes too. I like that. It's also in paperback, so it's not too bad. But don't tempt me. Junie says I will tempt you with a good time, Junie. It is worth it to go read this book. So I'm excited about it. I think the girls, my wife and sister-in-law, I think they are going to be ahead of me, but I will catch up with them tomorrow because I have accidentally stumbled into a not long day, but a slightly long day at work tomorrow because I have to go and fill in for a coworker on some of his route because he's meeting with an inspector, and I offered to do it to try to help him out. And so, yeah, I'm excited about it because that should mean that I will be driving. Let's see. What would that be? One. I'm going to figure this up in real time. One, and then that would be two, and then that's like 30 minutes. But let's say 3, 4, and then probably 5 and 1.5 back. So probably 5.5 hours of driving is on my to-do list for work tomorrow. I will be tired by the time stream starts. But with 5.5 hours, let me look up this book on Audible and see how long it is. At 5.5 hours on the audiobook, I suspect that I will be pretty far. It is 12 hours. Yeah, so 12 hours and 48 minutes is what the audiobook says. So I suspect I will be pretty far by then. So yeah, we got Wabajack here in the chat asking, "What do you do for work?" Currently, we'll see how much longer I do this. I'd love to make content and podcast for work. Not even full time. I'm happy to do this part time and to get a different part time job. But currently, my full time position is the role is called pumper. I hate that term, but I check oil wells. But one of the primary company that my company works for is has not been paying their bills to anybody in our state. They currently are in the process of trying to sell all of the wells that they have here in the state, and they just basically were like, "Forget you guys." And so I don't know how intensively and for how much longer this position is going to last. As a matter of fact, they're selling, and the sale date has to happen. I think it's by the 19th of March. Today is the 17th, so we've got. Ask me again in 3 days, and I'll be able to give you a much better understanding of what my work life looks like. But I'd love to just do a part-time job and have the ability to do this with the other part-time. I've put in a couple applications, no bites yet. We'll just have to see. And then you guys are. I've never wanted to be the type of content creator that asks for money all the time, you know what I mean? Like donations and subs. I appreciate them so much. I never expect it. I just don't want to be that kind of person. I want to hang out with you guys and hopefully create something that can add some value to your life. And so for that reason, I've been really trying to find ways and grind my butt off as best I can to hit like 1,000 subs on YouTube, and then hopefully, get enough views that I can get ad revenue there and do something from ads, or to, get some sponsorships or something. And I've had a couple things here and there. Nothing that I could allow me to quit my job. It's not really about the money though. It's just I want to do this, and I want to hopefully encourage and it's the pipe dream. I'm not the only one who has these dreams that wants to do things like this. So I understand. I'm not necessarily anything special in the industry. I just like doing it, and I like you guys, and I want to do it. I want to hang out with people. Like, that's my favorite part about this whole thing. Yes, that is where I live, Wabajack. Hopefully your new job will be a good fit for you. I hope so. We'll see. A couple applications. We'll see what happens. So that would be amazing. It'd be amazing. I agree. Also, if you're just now tuning in, I've shared this earlier. You may see that I am slightly transparent. That's because it's St. Patrick's Day, and I can't be getting pinched, so I'm wearing green. But everything behind me, as far as you know, is real. But it's fake. It's fake. It's a green screen. So I'm slightly transparent. So yeah, that's my big plans. Did I just take 15 and a half minutes to talk about Sunrise on the Reaping on a gaming podcast? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Am I the slightest bit upset about it? No, I'm really not. I enjoyed that a lot. Are you Irish? I am not Irish, but people around me be pinching people, and so I don't want to be pinched. So for not wearing green, especially when I'm going to go to a large body of people later tonight, can be getting pinched. So gotta stay on top of things. But yeah, I'm not Irish at all. So I'm pretty sure I need to do like a 23andMe or something, but most of what I understand about my heritage is predominantly English. So I probably, I don't know from what part of England or Britain, but probably was like a North London boy, if I would have lived many years before I live now. I don't need to, but I don't want to get pinched, Wabajack. I'm telling you, people be pinching you. What is that? And also, why do people get pinched? Here I am Googling questions again. On St. Patrick's Day, people get pinched for not wearing green, a tradition rooted in folklore that claims wearing green makes you invisible to leprechauns who supposedly pinch anyone they can see. Here's a more detailed explanation. Is it really like this? Tell me that story about your grandma, Wabajack. I want to know. All right, here's the folklore behind wearing green on St. Patrick's Day. According to the legend, leprechauns are mischievous creatures who like to pinch people, but they can only see those who aren't wearing green. The tradition is to avoid being pinched. People wear green on St. Patrick's Day, and those who forget are playfully pinched as a reminder to wear green. The origin is is believed to have originated in the United States and spread to other parts of the world. Why green? While the color green is strongly associated with Ireland and St. Patrick's Day, the actual color associated with St. Patrick is blue. What? Really? Other St. Patrick's Day traditions. Besides wearing green and avoiding being pinched, other common St. Patrick's Day traditions include celebrating with food like corned beef and cabbage, drinking Guinness, and looking for leprechauns. What an interesting day. Who was St. Patrick? Hold on. Now I'm on a tangent. Saint Patrick was a 5th century Roman British Christian missionary and bishop to Ireland, also known as the Apostle of Ireland. He is the primary let me keep reading. Primary patron saint of Ireland. The other patron saints being Brigid. Is it Brigid or Brigid? I'm not sure. Of Kildare and Columbia. He is also notably the patron saint of Nigeria. So why green and leprechauns on a day to commemorate the patron saint of Ireland? I no understand. I'm going to add why do we celebrate at the end and see if and we might be asking ChatGPT something in a minute. We'll ChatGPT or something. I don't know. Who was St. Patrick? St. Patrick credited with introducing Christianity to Ireland in the 5th century. Okay, that's a big deal. But the man who spurred an Irish holiday wasn't Irish himself. He was born in Roman Britain, kidnapped and brought to Ireland as a slave at 16, according to the History Channel. What? Why would Jack in the chat sharing this story about his grandmother? My grandma used to tell me she was a Heinz 57, basically a bit of a ton of ethnicities. I looked up her ancestors. Her maiden name and her mom's maiden name was Parker and Taylor. All of her ancestors also had British blood. I like that you spelled that British instead of British. British blood. My grandma would be Rose from Golden Girls. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. Guys, that is primarily the bulk of what we have in this episode. I know it was something of legend. Please let me know in the chat and in the comments before we go if this is a good time. Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern for the Webb Show, and then later on, I'm considering adding like an extra stream day where we just play and hang out either as a post-show or a pre-show to the Webb Show on Mondays. So if you're here live and you just got here, that's what that's about. Is Monday a good day for that, or should it be Friday at a later time? I'm pulling resources and information at least all week, maybe the rest of the month, because that's what they got the schedule set for anyway. And then I also need to chat with my wife and get a plan. But probably in April, one of these days is going to be absorbed by the other, so that I can hopefully make some YouTube content and other offline content. Thank you guys so much for being the absolute best. We are, I'll come back here on the live stream in a second and we will raid in, but we're going to go ahead and end our recording for the moment. So I appreciate you guys. I hit the wrong button, but I appreciate you guys. Those of you who weren't watching the video don't know. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy Sunrise on the Reaping Day. Have a fantastic rest of your week. I'll see you next time. Toodles. Join us now.